on. Let us see. All right. It's not streaming yet. There we go. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Sabrina and Dave Talk Politics. Sabrina and Dave Talk Politics #1. And we are going to be talking about the May Day strike. If no one has heard about it, I don't know. I know we've talked about Deb Della Piana a lot, and
Lady.
she's awesome. I've had some private contact with her, and her group and many others are organizing a nationwide. Basically, what they're talking about a strike, which is fundamentally you don't work, you don't buy anything, and for
Don't fill
one,
your gas tank,
don't fill your gas tank, nothing for a day, which would be May 1st.
which is a Tuesday.
Yep, it's a Tuesday, so there are a few things that are a little tricky. There is one coming up on Labor Day as well. That's actually going to be easier for me because I'm off that day, so I can do that.
Yeah, Tuesday I'm off for May 1st, so it makes it a little easier for me.
Right.
I don't have to deal with the complication.
But the issue for me is the fact that I am working Tuesday, May 1st, and I am a federal employee, so I can't strike. I'd actually have to put in for the day. That's what I am going to do. What I suggest that everyone do, I'm not, obviously I can't demand it, but what I'm suggesting all of our fellow live streamers do, everybody on Green News Network, James Young,
any of it, it doesn't matter what platform.
Stevie King, whoever it is, we just don't live stream for a day. Evan, don't live stream for May 1st. And I am going to pledge to limit my internet as much as humanly possible on May 1st. Keep my phone around maybe for emergency calls. I'm going to try to take that day off. And I may, if anyone has any suggestions for reading material, especially about the history of labor and that kind of thing, maybe I'll take that day as a day of reading, and afterwards on May 2nd,
come back with.
Yeah, and on May 2nd, I will live stream and let you guys know what I came up with. But Sabrina, if you had any thoughts.
Well, everybody always makes it like it's so easy to just not do something for a day, and I think that we should recognize that it's a sacrifice for those of us who choose to do it, especially those like David who actually have to consider what they're going to do about their work. And people just say, oh, call in sick. Well, maybe you can and maybe you can't. You have to pay the bills after May 1st. So do what you can. If you can miss work, however that looks, miss work. But if you can't miss work, then don't go online, as David suggested. If you YouTube, don't stream. Don't post to MeWe. Don't post to Facebook. Don't buy things. Make sure you have enough gas to get to and from work on April 30th so that you're ready to go for May 1st. You don't have to get that gas in the morning. Make your own coffee that morning. Don't go to Starbucks. They count those numbers. And if we stand together, don't buy products. Try not to go to work. Don't utilize the internet. They'll notice.
I think not using the internet
and not spending money.
Right.
Those are almost really more important than not going to work, to be completely frank.
Right. Not using the internet. Everybody was complaining about net neutrality. Show corporations that you have the power to unplug, and you can do it whenever you feel like it. Whenever, whenever it is necessary, you can and you will unplug.
Don't go on word cookies. Don't go watch Netflix. Go outside. I think it's May 5th. It's the National Outside Day for Kids, but have it a few days early. Take your kids out of school. Go on a hiking trip. Do something to plant part of your garden. Do something that doesn't put money into their coffers.
Now, a question about schooling. When you take kids out of school, I know I've heard that sometimes the kids even get punished when parents take kids out of school.
Well, that's going to depend state to state and even child to child. If a child has a very good attendance record and they're not in for a day, there's almost never any repercussions.
Okay.
If a child has been regularly absent, and especially for unexcused absences, then yes, parents can suffer legal consequences.
Okay. So it would be more the parents than the child. I know that sometimes when kids don't come in, as I said, I was in the system a little bit. I did student teaching, and I did after school programs and that kind of thing. When kids don't come in, sometimes they get chastised publicly in the classroom.
They can get detention, things like that, but not for an excused absence from their parents.
Right.
Now, they might have to face disciplinary actions for having missed too much. But for that one particular day, if their parents were to excuse them, and I don't encourage people to make their lives difficult. If your children have missed too much school, leave them in school. But if your children are doing well and you want to take them out as a learning experience, I am a proponent of actual life learning rather than behind a desk learning. So that's just my thoughts on it. I'm a little bit radical when it comes to the education system.
I know. But I do know that recent events, when people find out, when administrations find out that there's a demonstration, such as the March for Our Lives or the demonstrations against school violence and kids didn't go to school, they did get chastised in some ways for that.
Our region handled it completely differently. I'm in the Four Corners region, so I'm very in touch with not only my home state of Colorado, where I'm currently living again, but Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. And the Four Corners area, at least, I can't speak for the whole of the 4 states, but for the Four Corners region, almost all of the principals and the law enforcement worked with the students to enable them to do that. And there were no repercussions. They used it, as I said, as a life learning lesson. Now, personally, I believe that was televised and utilized as a propaganda move. I think those kids were misused. I don't believe in that particular movement for the reasons that that it was started. I don't think that it was the kids. I think that they were used. But I do like how the schools and the law enforcement handled that movement for our children here. They allowed them to take part. They supported it. They put it in the newspapers. They talked about it. And I think that was a much better way to handle it than trying to punish children who are only trying to do what the TV tells them to do is the right thing to do for their friends and family in the school system.
Well, and what you could do too, at least with your particular school district, is create a teaching moment if it becomes an issue about.
Not all school districts are going to work with you, but you'll be surprised, folks, if you reach out to your school districts, how readily they want parent participation, and they will work with you so much of the time.
Okay. Yeah. And as far as I go, as far as May 1st goes, I actually have to physically put in a slip to take annual leave, which I don't have a problem doing.
That doesn't take away from your stance on it.
No. If I have to work, I have to work, but I don't have to. Don't pay for anything in a soda machine. Nothing. Just come in, do your job.
Brown lunch bag it,
Go brown bag it. Do the whole thing, which I do anyway. Don't buy anything for for lunch that day. Brown bag your
Yeah, don't
sandwich
get
or
your
whatever.
cinnamon or your
Right.
Krispy Kreme on the way to work, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. But I did want to say a personal message to Deb Delapiana. We're listening. It may not. It
We
may not.
are.
It may not seem like it, but we are listening. I'm actually going to send Deb a personal message in regards to Patreon, because Patreon is processed on May 1st, so I'll work something out with her. But these are things that people have to think about when they change a routine as far as paying or not paying
Yeah.
for
So
even
many
for
people
that.
have automated bills, you know?
Yeah,
I don't. I'll forget. So I have to do the whole killing of the trees, unfortunately, and get mine in the mail or my bills don't get paid. I regret it, but that's just the way my brain works.
right.
But for those who are capable of doing that automated system, it's almost a not. It's like breathing. It's a subconscious functioning of finances, and so it is something to think about.
And you can change that date of payment one
For a day
time.
earlier, a day later.
Right. Yeah, depending on when you get paid, obviously. So
Right.
that's pretty much all we had to say for this one. I wanted to thank Sabrina for coming on,
Thank you for
and
having me.
thanks to everyone, not just Deb, but everyone who's involved in movements such as this. Um,
And go
to,
look her up. Share her stuff. That's another huge way to contribute before May 1st even comes around.
yep,
Get that Mayday strike information out there. Make sure everybody on your friends list has seen it. And you can email it. You can get on MeWe. Talk about it amongst people around the water cooler.
and if you feel like you can't participate fully, participate partially, and there is a Labor Day um, strike coming as well, so you can plan. I know maybe even less than a month, things come up, or you have a trip that that May 1st
Yeah, like
that
you're
you
going
have
to
to
not
come.
be able to buy something if you've got your vacation planned.
Right. If
We're
you
all
have
human. Just
yeah,
volunteering.
you have a road trip, just minimize if you can, and
Make
plan
that
for
your
Labor Day.
hiking day. Reorganize it. You know, if you had a day where
Yep.
you were going to go hiking, just shift them around a little bit.
Yep. And this would be a challenge for me. Don't drink Pepsi that day, or don't eat any products that day. Even though
I'm the worst. I only like Fountain Dr. Pepper.
right,
And so, that'll be a real sacrifice. It's so pathetic. But honestly, coming from me, not going into my little local Handy Mart Piccadilly pizza is going to just kick my butt, not getting my soda. But
right.
we got to do what we got to do.
We yeah, we'll have that conversation. I have to wean myself off again and look for natural products, and I was going to try to juice, and I fell off the
If you
wagon very,
juice,
very
just
quickly.
don't get rid of the skins, man. That's where all the nutrients are. The
Yeah,
juicing is great up to the point of you're taking the skins off, and that's where, okay, so a banana, you're not going to eat the skins. An
right.
avocado, there's some
Obviously.
exceptions. But outside of that, if you cut off the skin of a potato, the skin of an apple, you lose 90% of the nutrients. I'm making that number up, but it's an exorbitant amount of the nutrients are
Right,
lost from that item.
right. Well, anyway, I was going to try to make this 10 minutes. I made it about 14, 15. But everybody, I will post Deb Delapiana's information on on this on this
Posting
video.
it as well. You can look for it on my personal page, Sabrina Giesler, or you can go into the groups out there, whether they're progressive, revolutionary groups, or green groups. I post into those kind of groups about these types of events regularly.
And thank you to T. Lee Jones, who just subscribed to me like 10 seconds ago. So I do appreciate new subscribers. Thank you.
Always.
Yep. So thanks, everybody, and I will see you soon. Independent Outsider out. See you around.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.